Awful performance by the Indiana Fever. We got smacked.
Indiana Fever getting dismantled.
The Fever didn't even reach 60 points. Now, that was embarrassing.
This game was so bad.
Very, very, very ugly. Very embarrassing.
Time to accept we are nothing without Caitlin Clark.
The Fever just got crushed, and Caitlin Clark was fuming on the bench.
Fever fall 77-58 in their lowest scoring game of the season. Team was outscored 44-25 in the second half.
No fire, no fight, just a disaster.
For a professional basketball team to score 58 points is disgusting no matter who's on the court.
Caitlin Clark has to come back, bro. I cannot keep watching this team, bro.
This team looks completely lost without her.
We're no good, especially without Caitlin Clark. This team is no good. This team is buns.
Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
I cannot keep watching this team try to play basketball without Caitlin Clark.
If you're 100% behind Caitlin and know she's the heart of this team, drop a comment right now. 100% for Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark's not a miracle worker.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Globally.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is the absolute difference maker for the Indiana Fever.
This wasn't just a loss. It was a meltdown. The Indiana Fever got humiliated by the Atlanta Dream, falling 77-58 in what's now officially their lowest scoring game of the season.
Final score of the game was 58-77, damn near 20-point loss, bro.
The offense, non-existent. The energy, completely gone.
50 points. Everybody is getting a paycheck. Everybody is professionals getting paid to play basketball. We scored 50 points, bro. I gotta be honest with you. This is nasty. Stephanie White, what are you doing? Wake up. Wake up. What is this offense, bro? This is slow. Why are we playing so damn slow?
And here's the thing. They were tied 33-33 at halftime. That's right. The game was competitive until the second half, where the Fever got outscored 44-25. That's not a cold streak. That's collapse. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, the team played like they had no direction, no leader on the court, no rhythm, no urgency. Players were standing around waiting for someone to take over, but there was no Caitlin to ignite the offense, no Caitlin to drive the pace, hit the big shots, or make plays when it mattered.
We need Caitlin Clark, and we need her in the worst way. And I'm gonna be honest, as great as the GOAT Caitlin Clark is, this ain't no championship team around her, bro.
And it showed. The stat that really tells the story, 2 fast break points. That's it, 2.
2 fast break points for the game. 2. You literally took the fastest team in the league and brought in a bunch of dinosaurs that can't run. We play slow as hell now.
The Dream had more fast break points in a single quarter than the Fever managed in the entire game. In fact, over the 4 games without Caitlin Clark, the Fever have totaled only 11 fast break points.
The Indiana Fever gave up 13 fast break points. They had 2 fast break points. So, since Caitlin Clark has been injured, Stephanie White has coached 4 games. They have totaled 11 fast break points.
11. That's what happens when you remove the engine that drives the team. Fans are fed up, and they should be. One commenter said it best. Without Caitlin, we're not a WNBA team. We're just people getting cardio. That's how bad it looked. And the worst part, you could see it on Caitlin's face. As the final buzzer sounded, cameras caught her expression, furious, frustrated, and done with excuses. She knows this team needs her, not just for scoring, but to keep the entire ship afloat. Because right now, it's sinking, fast.
Look at Caitlin right here. This was at the conclusion of the game. She looked pissed. I can't blame CC.
Let's talk about what's really fueling this disaster, coaching. Or more accurately, the total absence of it. Since Stephanie White took over, the Fever have gone from fast-paced and promising to slow, confused, and completely directionless. It's almost like she inherited a Ferrari and started driving it like a tractor. This team was built for speed, built for tempo, and somehow she's managed to grind them into the ground. Without Caitlin Clark, the offense hasn't just slowed down, it's come to a crawl. In the last 4 games coached by White without Caitlin, the Fever have totaled just 11 fast break points. 11. That's not just bad, it's unacceptable for a team that's supposed to thrive in transition.
Clocking in for a game and clocking out. It looks like nobody practiced at all up into this game. It looks like nobody worked on any type of offensive scheme coming up into this game. It looked like nobody worked on any type of defensive scheme.
Stephanie White's game plan has been questioned from every angle. Fans, analysts, even former players are asking the same thing. What is this offense? The motion offense she claimed she'd bring. It's non-existent. The plays are predictable, stagnant, and painfully slow. Possession after possession, we're watching ISO ball, long twos, and missed opportunities. Where's the creativity? Where's the urgency? And where's the leadership on the sidelines when it's falling apart? Let's not forget the contrast here. Just one game before, assistant coach Austin Kelly took over coaching duties, and the team actually looked alive. The ball moved, players ran, there was energy, spacing, tempo. It wasn't perfect, but it was basketball. Now, it looks like a scrimmage of strangers. One YouTuber said it best. Stephanie White turned the fastest team in the league into the 2004 Pistons. And they didn't mean that as a compliment. This isn't a grinded-out, defensive-minded roster. This is a team built to run, and Stephanie White refuses to let them.
Fever fall 77-58 in their lowest scoring game of the season. Oh my God. Team was outscored 44-25 in the second half.
The worst part? It's not just tactics, it's motivation. After getting outscored by 19 in the second half, there was no fire from the bench.
Stephanie White is not why the team lost this game. But by the way, they got into halftime 33-all in the most boring half of basketball in history.
No emotional lift, no adjustment. The Fever looked like they were just waiting for the clock to run out. Multiple voices in the community are now calling for White's seat to get hot. One creator even said, "I'd rather have Christy Sides back at this point. At least she knew Caitlin was the system." It's clear Stephanie White isn't adapting to her players. She's trying to force them into her outdated slow-motion system. And that's not just bad coaching, that's negligence. Caitlin Clark is a generational player. She's a leader, a floor general, a true quarterback.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
But instead of designing an offense that lets her lead, White has done the exact opposite. Stripped the team of its speed, ignored its strengths, and let the season drift into mediocrity. And let's talk about the lineup decisions. Players like Lexi Hull played 32 minutes and scored 0 points.
Indiana Fever, Lexi just missed shots. It is what it is. Kelsey Mitchell went back to Arike Kelsey.
Others like Sydney Colson gave absolutely nothing on offense, but still stayed in the game far too long. Meanwhile, Ari McDonald, the only spark of life on the roster, keeps coming off the bench despite being the most productive player.
Ari McDonald once again came in and was a firecracker in this game.
She's leading the team in three-pointers made since joining. She's efficient, aggressive, and fearless. But still, she's not getting starter minutes. Why? Because the coaching is broken. The substitutions make no sense. The rotations are off. The game plans are stuck in slow motion. And when things spiral out of control, when the team goes 9 minutes without a bucket or gives up a 15-0 run, there's no timeout, no adjustment, just arms crossed on the sidelines like it's someone else's problem. This is a team that needs structure. It needs identity. But more than anything, it needs a coach who knows how to build around its star. Stephanie White is failing at all three, and until Caitlin Clark is back on the floor and the offense is running through her, the Fever are just spinning in place, a rudderless ship with no urgency and no captain. The team doesn't just miss Clark's talent, they miss her leadership, her vision, and her ability to drag this team forward, even when the system around her is crumbling.
For the Indiana Fever to go an entire game where they have not scored more than 20 points, where they have a quarter where they only score 9 points, and to call yourself a professional basketball team is pathetic.
Want to know how valuable Caitlin Clark is to this team? Just look at what happens the moment she's not on the floor. It's not just that the Fever lose games, they implode. They don't just miss her points, they lose their identity, their direction, their very pulse. What we saw against the Atlanta Dream wasn't just bad basketball. It was proof that without Caitlin Clark, this team doesn't function.
Look at this, folks. Look at this travel. And I mean, right here, there's gonna be a step and then another step. And they had to burn a challenge for that. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
She isn't just the best player on the roster. She's the glue, the heartbeat, the engine, and the voice all in one. Let's start with what's most obvious, her impact on offensive rhythm. When Caitlin is on the court, the game flows. There's spacing, there's pace, the ball moves, shooters get better looks, screens are actually used.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
She is the main draw. She is the needle mover.
And she was the MVP.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
And you see the players, especially the bigs like Aaliyah Boston, get touches in positions where they can score.
Aaliyah Boston struggled on the inside because they didn't try get her to play in space. They didn't run any pick and pops, didn't run any pick and rolls, didn't run anything on the short rolls, nothing.
But without Caitlin, the ball sticks. Offense becomes isolation heavy. Players stand still. Possessions end in forced, contested shots or careless turnovers. The Fever didn't just struggle without her. They scored only 58 points in a professional basketball game. And not one of those points came in rhythm. It was broken possession after broken possession, players confused, hesitant, and completely out of sync. And the thing is, this isn't the first time this has happened. Every time Caitlin has had to sit, the drop-off is immediate and brutal. She's not just the team's leading scorer, she's their primary facilitator.
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands, and she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year. She shot a bunch of it, and it's been the whole preseason where it looks to me like on her deepest shots, she is just getting them off like they're nothing, like they're routine, because nobody else is shooting from this distance regularly, and she's doing it with a flick of the wrist.
The only one who can push the pace, control tempo, and find players in the right spots. Without her, no one knows how to create. No one knows how to lead. Kelsey Mitchell, 5 of 16.
Kelsey Mitchell tonight absolutely killed the Fever. 5 of 16 for 11 points.
Lexi Hull, 32 minutes, 0 seconds. Sydney Colson, a veteran with 3 points and 2 turnovers. The only player who stepped up was Ari McDonald.
Ari McDonald's the only one that showed up and played some basketball today.
And even she can't do it alone. It's Caitlin who sets the tone. It's Caitlin who lifts the rest of them. You could see it on her face. Cameras caught her reaction at the end of the game. Furious, tight-lipped, frustrated beyond words. And who can blame her? This is supposed to be a team building for the future around her. And yet, when she's out, the system collapses like a house of cards. No adjustments from the bench, no fight from the roster, just a slow, painful unraveling. And Caitlin? She's stuck watching it all from the sidelines, knowing full well that without her, they're lost.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
But it's not just the offense. It's leadership. It's accountability. Caitlin Clark isn't just a shooter or a passer, she's a commander. On the floor, she's talking every possession, calling plays, reading the defense, guiding her teammates. Off the floor, she's holding people accountable. You know why the Fever even looked semi-decent in games where they pulled out wins against teams like the Mystics and Sky? Because Caitlin was running the show. And even in those games where they barely won, it was clear that without her, they wouldn't have stood a chance. And here's the irony. People love to say Clark needs to prove herself in the WNBA.
When Caitlin Clark get back, put the ball in her hands and do what she say to do on offense. Point blank, period. Whoever get a rebound, outlet it to Caitlin and we go from there, bro. This team looks garbage without Caitlin Clark.
But let's be honest, it's the WNBA that needs Caitlin Clark. Look at the numbers. Viewership, through the roof when she plays. Attendance, sold-out arenas, media attention, front-page headlines. And on the court, she's already outperforming expectations against double teams, physical defense, and with refs swallowing the whistle. And still, she produces. Now imagine the pressure she's under. She's the most hyped rookie the league has ever seen, carrying a franchise that's been in rebuild mode for years. And yet when she's not on the floor, the entire foundation crumbles. That says everything you need to know about who Caitlin Clark is. Not just a player, but a culture changer.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
A leader, a winner. You look at this team now and it's obvious. Caitlin Clark doesn't just make the Fever better, she makes them watchable. Without her, this team is a mess of missed shots, broken plays, and lifeless possessions. With her, there's hope, there's energy, there's basketball worth watching, and that's not an exaggeration, it's fact. Every creator covering this team said the same thing in one way or another. This is Caitlin Clark's team, and when she's not on the court, there is no team. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Caitlin Clark is the face of the franchise. She's the draw, but she's also the only reason this team even has a shot at relevance. You want the Fever in the playoffs? You want them winning games? You want fans in seats and eyeballs on screens? Then give Caitlin the keys.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
Let her run the show. Build around her the right way. With shooters, with speed, with spacing, and most importantly, with trust. Because if the Fever continue to waste her minutes, misuse her talent, and surround her with a system that doesn't play to her strengths, then not only are they going to keep losing, they're going to waste a generational talent. Caitlin Clark was angry, and she had every right to be. She gave everything to this franchise, and now she's watching it fall apart without her. If you're Fever management, coaching staff, or even a teammate, you better be listening, because she's not just the future. She's the only thing keeping this team from total collapse.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
This loss wasn't just ugly, it was a wake-up call. Without Caitlin Clark, the Fever aren't just underperforming, they're unwatchable. And if the front office, coaching staff, and every single player in that locker room doesn't realize who their leader is by now, they're kidding themselves. Caitlin isn't just part of the solution, she is the solution. So when she's back, give her the ball, give her the system, and get out of the way.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
Because the clock is ticking and the Fever can't afford to waste another second without building around the one player who can actually save them.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right. So she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
If you're riding with Caitlin Clark, hit that like button, drop a 100% for Caitlin in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.